Hi, my name's Colin Haney. I'm the author of The Hardly Can Romance. I'm not a guitar player. I had to borrow this guitar from my friend Bryce Jensen, who's the drummer of Kindle Creek. I want to thank him for letting me borrow it. It's been about 20 years since I've played. The last time I played publicly was at my senior graduation when I was asked by my class to perform the senior predictions. There were only 15 of us, and while I was probably supposed to do it in poetry, I ended up doing it to song. And so this is one of the songs that I presented at that time. Just as background, one of my nicknames in high school was Phil, because there was an incident where I was working in the darkroom on photos for the school newspaper, and while I was waiting for things to develop, I was drumming on the wall, and unbeknownst to me, there was a faculty meeting with the entire school faculty on the other side of the wall. It was a very thin 2x4 paneling type wall. All of a sudden the door opened, and of course exposing our paper, creating all kinds of problems, so the guy that I was working with, we started yelling, and it was the superintendent. Anyway, a friend of mine, since Phil Collins was a drummer and my name is Colin, he decided to start calling me Phil, and it kind of caught on. The other nickname, Father Colin, comes from the wrestling team, where I discouraged the bad language that often prevails in wrestling teams, and so I got the nickname of Father Colin there. Anyway, this is called The Streets of Chicago. I'm just going to sing part of it. As I walked out in the streets of Chicago, as I walked out in Chicago one day, I spied a young transient reading a paper on the box where he lay. He turned from his paper and looked quite suspicious. "What do you want?" his bad breath said to me. "I'm Phil, or Father Colin, from way back in high school." He recognized me and smiled happily. "Come sit down beside me and hear my sad story." This he said as he tugged upon my wrist. I looked for a way out, but found that there was none. "Well, all right," I said, "if you insist." Well, once I left high school, I went on to college, studied my English, a teacher I would be. I studied hard for 4 years, and when I was finished, I graduated and got my degree. I got my first job at a small little high school. I hoped things would go well and move along. Teaching school was easy, I said before I started. After the first day, I knew I was wrong. Teaching senior English was driving me crazy, but the second day I went back again. Everything was just fine, except for one student. He was being the way I had been. Just as background, that student always was going round and round with the English teacher, so I thought that was a fitting prediction.